Now that I've officially graduated college, I now have time on my hands to make videos again. And since the Switch 2 and Mario Kart World are right around the corner, I couldn't pre-order one, this is so sad. I decided to make a video talking about one aspect of Mario Kart World in particular. Now, I have my fair share of things that I'm both excited for, like Knockout Tour, and things I'm not fond of, like the roster and the character select screen. But one thing I'm very split in the middle about are the retro courses. As I feel like while there are some decent picks with really stunning remakes, like Dino Dino Jungle, I have several issues when it comes to the track selection in this game, and I think it could be better. So, let's go ahead and try to make it better. Before we start, I'm only 200 subscribers away from 5k, so why not hit the little subscribe button down there while you're here. But without further ado, let's fix Mario Kart World's retro tracks. First, let's go over the three main issues with the game's retro tracks that I have, so that way we know what we need to be looking for when it comes to fixing them. Issue number 1 is the lack of tracks from Mario Kart Super Circuit and Mario Kart 8. This is the first time a console Mario Kart won't have at least one track from each past game, and I find that to be a little unsettling. I know we were shelved with a whole lot of nothing GBA tracks plus Boo Lake in the Booster Course Pass, but that shouldn't dissuade the game from having at least one. Issue number 2 is the fact that there are an uneven amount of retro tracks versus new ones. While most games balance it by having 16 of each, this game instead has 18 new tracks versus 14 retros. Issue number 3 is the fact that the game decided to bring back tracks that were already in Mario Kart 8 and the Booster Course Pass, like Moo Moo Meadows, Choco Mountain, and SNES Mario Circuit, and it makes the selection feel less distinct because of that. I mean, if I want to play these tracks, I am literally able to just boot up 8 Deluxe on my Switch 2 and play them. So those are the issues I'm mostly going to be focusing on when fixing the retros. But one other thing I have to be mindful of when making these decisions is to also take the location and scenery of the stage in the open world into consideration, to make sure that the stages I replace them with still fit naturally. Okay, so now with that out of the way, let's get fixing. The first and most obvious change I'm going to make is to even out the number of retros and new courses. And the most simple way to do that is to just get rid of the repeat tracks. For some reason, 2 of the new tracks, Crown City and Peach Stadium, actually have 2 versions in different cups, each with different layouts. So the solution is to simply just combine those 2 versions together. I mean, heck, according to the Mario Wiki, there's actually a map of Crown City in the game that does just that. So just use that in the Grand Prix. By doing that, we now have an even amount of both courses, so now we have 2 extra retros that we can add in. For those 2 slots, I'm adding in Sunshine Airport from Mario Kart 8 and Piranha Plant Pipeline from Mario Kart Tour. I always found the inclusion of Sky High Sundae over Pipeline, which was never added to the Booster Course Pass, to be a weird choice. But considering how much better this version looks, I'm not necessarily complaining, but I'm still adding Pipeline in anyways. In terms of world map locations, I'm going to put Pipeline where SNES Mario Circuit was. From what I've seen, nothing about Mario Circuit makes it any less boring than previous ones, even if this one does combine the layouts. I mean, seriously, not only are we getting a SNES Mario Circuit for the millionth time, but they didn't even include Mario Circuit 4 with it? Come on now. And since Pipeline takes place in a forest, I think this might be the most reasonable spot to place it. As for Sunshine Airport, I'm putting it at the very south of the map, underneath Koopa Troopa Beach, to reference the Koopa Troopa Beach Easter egg the course has in Mario Kart 8. The next change I'm going to make is replacing Desert Hills. While I don't really mind the fact that Mario Kart DS got 3 tracks while the others got 1 or 2, Desert Hills specifically kinda felt like a random and useless choice. Especially when there are better desert tracks to pick from, including Wii Dry Dry Ruins, which not only has a more interesting layout, but also was a Wii track that wasn't in 8 Deluxe. I think this helps give a better balance of course difficulties from Mario Kart Wii, rather than having 2 tracks coming from the Mushroom Cup. The next track to replace is Moo Moo Meadows, since again, 8 Deluxe makes its inclusion here unnecessary. Honestly, it seems like the only reason it's here is so that the cow can be playable. Finding a replacement was initially hard, but I decided to go with GBA Luigi Circuit, since this grassy aesthetic would fit well with it, along with giving us both a GBA track and a Luigi track. After that, we go to SNES Koopa Troopa Beach, which I am simply replacing with its N64 counterpart instead. I don't know, I feel like the SNES Koopa Beaches leave very little room for potential, and while the course looks different aesthetically, gameplay-wise it looks just as boring as the original. And N64's version, while also having a simple layout, just has more personality, which can still work with the beach party vibe that this game's version is going for. Now, because I replaced both of the SNES tracks in this game, that means we need to have at least one to replace them. Luckily, the answer for that lies in the open world, as we can see all 3 Ghost Valley tracks underneath Boost Cinema. So instead of just making them part of the open world, let's have a combined Ghost Valley course. And instead of putting it so close next to Boost Cinema, maybe we can instead have it hanging out here over the waters northeast of it, maybe with some icy fog and whatnot sprinkled about to keep its ominous feeling, as well as some occasional elevation changes like that remix Ghost Valley from Tor. That just leaves us with one last track to replace, Choco Mountain, again due to its already recent inclusion in the Booster Course Pass. The problem, however, was finding the right replacement. You might just think I'm going to replace it with the Choco Island courses from the SNES, but yeah, no. The problem is, there aren't really that many other courses with an industrial theme to it like this new Choco Mountain has, which by the way was a terrible idea if I'm going to be honest. And based on its location on the map, I didn't know if I was going to find a suitable replacement, but that's when I had an idea. Since this track has an industrial theme to it, I'm actually going to take another industrial track in this game, Toad's Factory, and move it to where Choco Mountain was. Now, we can put a new track in the old spot where Toad's Factory was. Since this general area acts as a sort of liaison between the grassy and lava regions of the map, I found that the perfect course to put in this spot would be GBA Lakeside Park. The grassy field with the volcano in the background makes this the perfect stage to put here, and would make up for the fact that it didn't come to the Booster Course Pass. And since this game actually has changing weather and time of day, this course being here would already be better than Sunset Wilds and 8 Deluxe. And with that, we're officially done. Those are my fixes for Mario Kart World's Retro Tracks. Let me know what you guys think of this in the comments below, or let me know what kind of changes you would make to the retro selection. I'd love to hear it. Sorry for the lack of videos lately, but college was kinda just killing me for a while. I mean, look at the stuff I've been dealing with. Anyways, that's it for me, so I will see you guys next time.